Good evening, keepers of the cash. Welcome to a bonus edition episode of the 1011. And I have a bonus guest host, Roger, Metarog himself down here. How you doing, Metarog?
Oh, I am doing so well, Gary. Thank you very much for the honor of inviting me on here. I'm excited to be with you. And of course, my buddy Mike up there from just down the road.
Right.
What's up,
and
community?
of course, our special guest of the hour for the bonus episode is none other than Mike from Nighttiger Comics. Mike, how are you this fine Saturday?
I'm doing good. After that music you play, I want to slay something.
Right?
From that intro.
And we'll say a quick hello to our audience before we get going with the books. So we got Chop and Drop In, always supporting the community. How you doing, Chop? A Surfer, another guy who's always supporting the community. He's a new guy with a new channel, guys. So please, if you haven't subbed him up, go check him out. Nice guy. We got our buddy Jerry. What's up, Jerry? How are you doing, sir? And of course, we got more rolling in, and we'll get to those. But first, Mike, before we get going, for anybody watching on a rewind, because the chat's always filled with people we know. But for the people that are finding you on the rewind, give us a quick synopsis of yourself and your channel and what you do, sir. Is he frozen?
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh, I am?
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah,
I'm
there
not
you go.
frozen.
All right. I didn't know if you heard the question then.
Oh, you said what on the rewind? I didn't know you were talking to me.
Oh, yeah. For people
give
that
me a
watch us on the
synopsis.
rewind,
Yeah.
just give a quick synopsis of what your channel is, who you are, and
Oh,
what they
okay.
can expect.
My channel, okay, just first off, I had a mishap. I lost a tooth yesterday, my crown, so just let you know that. Okay, that's out of the way. What do? I love collecting Golden Age. It is my absolute favorite thing to do. But I collect all comics. I have no problem reading anything that's written well, drawn well. I love toys. I love video games. You can see in the background, I have DC walls. I have Marvel walls. I have Golden Age walls. So I've been collecting since about 75, maybe. Not collecting, but that's when I discovered comics. But my channel does everything related to comics, pop culture. So pretty much anything, anything American pop culture.
Right? And you're a big Seinfeld fan, as everybody knows.
Yeah, I love Seinfeld.
He's also like a comic historian. He loves the history behind the comics, the creators, the marketing, the distribution. He and I share that passion.
Yeah. I like to know the history, anything about history, especially comic books. It's so fascinating.
Yeah. So again, you said you're a Golden Age collection. So that's your favorite era to collect from?
Mostly 40s, but I do love 50s next.
Yeah.
So I try to go anything pre-code. If it has a comic code and it's from the 50s, I usually stay away from it. It's got to have a real coolness factor for me to want to get it.
And what's your all-time favorite storyline in comics before we get going on the books?
Probably, I would say Nightfall in the 90s. Azrael is my favorite Batman, even better than Bruce Wayne. He was like the Iron Man of Batman before they had all this armor and stuff. He had those razor-sharp darts that came out of his wrists, and I just thought he was so cool. So I miss that character. I wish they would do a movie on that character.
Hey, they do movies on TV series on all of them now, so you'll get them eventually. Yeah. Oh goodness. So let's get into the books you brought with you. Let's see what your first book is and tell us a little bit about it, bud.
So I'm doing my 10, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I'll start out with a book that Roger knows pretty well because it used to belong to him. This is one of the absolute grails of my collection.
Oh, nice.
But not only is it a 2-4, not only did Roger used to own it, Jerry, the Jitterbug, did master work, and this is one of his earlier books that he worked on. So, and I think he did a great job. It just looks so super clean and tight. Beautiful. And
Jerry always does a great job.
I don't think you'll ever see another issue of this in this condition ever. I almost can guarantee that. I have not even read it yet. Many times I've attempted. So what I do is I'll grab like 4 or 5 Golden Age books, put them in a stack next to me, kick back, put the Batman pillow my wife made behind me, kick my feet up, relax. And if I'm lucky, I make it through one comic before I'm falling asleep. And
that age is catching up with you, Mike.
The other day I was reading the early action, and it's already kind of chipping at the bottom of the spine where it's split.
Right.
And I fell asleep with it on my lap. I dropped it.
Wow.
But one thing about me, I don't care about, I'd rather take the risk and read a book and get it damaged than just put it in a sleeve and never get to experience that book. Because for me, reading comics is something I can't do online, and I've tried, and it's a whole experience for me. It's like a ritual. You got to have the smells, the feels, and almost like you want to be transported back into like a little kid from the 40s and feel what they felt when they first opened that book and experienced the panels and the bright colors and just the coolness factor of it.
And we talk about that all the time. Just that smell. That smell is part of the experience, and the feel of that newsprint from back in the day. And
to me, even if any comic, if I pick one up and it's not newsprint, it just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't. The weight's wrong. There's no smell to it. It just doesn't feel like a comic book in my sense.
Yeah.
So I noticed that a couple of weeks or a month ago. I was like, if it doesn't have newsprint, I notice I don't have a connection to the book.
Yeah, you're missing a few elements when it's not newsprint. You're missing that feel and that smell.
Right.
So like you rifling through, and sometimes in those late 90s, they were changing the paper, and it went slightly more to glossy and then not even pulp anymore.
The 90s were the worst looking.
When you go through a back issue bin, if I pick out a book and it has a newsprint, I feel like a connection. I want to open it and see what's in it. And if it's not newsprint, and I can tell right by picking it up, I'm like, I just kind of put it back and keep going, It doesn't have that interest factor for me.
And I said the 90s, I meant the 2000s. Well, I don't know. There was that weird era in the 2000s where all the books were just, whoa.
Yeah. That comic, Mike, I would never give that comic to anybody else but you, because I know that you would appreciate it more than anybody.
There's probably, because when you told me that, I was driving and talking to you. So there's probably 2 or 3 people that had accidents. They went off the road and they don't know why. Where did that truck go? Why did he run me off the road?
Well, I'm happy that you have it and that you like it. Do read it though. Jerry did a good job. It's not going to come apart or anything.
No,
you can read it. I did, and no problem.
Just like I said, I'll take the risk.
Further.
I don't care. I mean, I already opened it up and paged through it, so I just got to sit down and read it. But
that centerfold is worth the price of admission alone. Let me tell you.
It's no lie. When you said I don't have an attachment to that, I almost had a heart attack. I was like, I didn't hear what he didn't just say that. Who's gonna say that when they own this? I'm not attached to it. I'm like, holy what? I'm like, what do you want? I have 2 kidneys. Just
some comics.
Just name your price.
Both my legs work fine. You can have it.
That's right. I'll take one off of the knee. So most of my books on the list they have meaning and sentiment to me because they came from community members. So this next one came from my buddy Steve Ogden from Charlton 66 channel. Now, this is the first Moon Knight before his solo series. This came out right before that.
What a gorgeous cover. Who did the cover?
I don't remember.
Sienkiewicz. It's a Sienkiewicz cover.
Oh.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but this came out after the Marvel Spotlight, right? Yeah. This is 80s.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah.
I think this is 1980 or something.
I think so. I'm not sure, Mike, but I think you're right.
Well, you know what? And it even has a stamp. It says from the collection of Steve Ogden. So I'll never forget.
Yeah, I have a couple of his comics too. He was a meticulous collector.
Oh, I had some other ones, but I couldn't show them all. It would take too long. 1980. I just sent him some really nice Big Little books. it was one of those things. I found them at a flea market for cheap, and then when I bought them, I'm looking at them going, "Why did I offer these to him?"
And I love that. I love that magazine size too.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Black-
Another lost art these days is the magazine format.
Yeah, you're right.
This-
You're right, Gary. Yeah.
And most of these that I'm gonna show, they're on my wall, so they're definitely, that's how much they mean to me. They're on display. This next one. Well, this is a book that, as a kid, was one that when I saw it, it took my breath away. And to this day, this is one of my favorite character team runs in Marvel Bronze Age. And I think the artist is some of his best work. Al Milgrom, the first solo Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
right.
Starhawk and
Yeah.
Charlie 27,
They're so
Yondu.
colorful.
Martin
Al
X,
Milgrom
Fantastica.
worked on everything back in the day.
Yeah,
He did a terrific job on this and on his Captain Marvel. I think his Captain Marvel a little bit later, it kind of got sloppy.
Yeah.
But just, that's a gorgeous book.
It is. It is.
And I had sold my original one on another collection. I just got this last year. I finally decided, I was looking for it in a back issue bin. I could never find it, so I decided to go ahead and buy it.
And that era of cosmic covers are just so, they're just so enjoyable to look at.
Well, like we were discussing before Roger came in, and at this time, the creators had put their heart into everything. It wasn't just, it was a job to, okay, so I read a lot of different things, and it was a job to these people, but it was a job that they took serious and very professional.
Right.
To do their best. But a lot of them will tell you at the end of the day, when you ask them about, well, when that book got hot, what did you think? And I think someone was talking about maybe Steve Ditko or something. And they said, it's just a profession. We just try to do our best. We don't get involved like with the sales or if it's hot or how much it's sold, or we move. Basically what he said is, once we're done with that, we move on to the next project.
Right.
Very professional.
But they took a lot of pride in their work. Absolutely. Yeah. Nobody wanted to say, "Oh, that's a horrible job by Milgrom." You know, he tried to do his best.
It's like the license mags these days. People pump them out, and there's no heart to any of the license material hardly, right?
Yeah.
But then back in the day, you gave something like Rom or the Micronauts to a Bill Mantlo, and he ran with that and made it into something better than what the toys were.
Yep.
Or even Larry Hama on G.I. Joe.
Well, I don't know if Roger remembers, I love panel covers on books.
I do.
And I got a chance to have a chat with Milgrom on Facebook. And I told him how much I loved his Avengers Annual 10. And he was so humble. He goes, yeah, but what if Michael Golden had done it? It would have been so much cooler. And I was like, wow, that's pretty humble.
I'm with you too. I love Avengers Annual 10, but I love it for different reasons than anybody else. I'm a huge Jessica Drew Spider-Woman fan. I'm a huge Captain Marvel fan. And that's why I love that book. Not even for the Rogue. I love it for those two characters alone. And I got myself, I was lucky because it was a book I was missing. And I got a beat up copy for $10 from my LCS a couple years ago. And, that's all I can afford these days, but at least I have it. And it's in there. And I have a reader copy, a reprint reader copy of it. I can read when I want to. But I like all those panels on it. I thought, and everyone's like, this is the ugliest cover in history. I'm like, well, I must like ugly covers then, because that one's
not that bad. It's not that bad.
I couldn't even tell you why I like panel covers. I just think they're pretty cool. They're unique. They don't do them too often. So
no, you're right.
And I don't know, I've talked to you with this in the past, Roger, but I think to me the most perfect comic book, and probably I say in my top favorite, is the Avengers Annual 10. Because I remember when I first got it and opened that page, and I was like, the art, the muscles on Jessica Drew as she's coming down.
Yep.
To swoop Rogue up out of the water. They're just, wow. It's like perfect anatomy, cool. I mean, Michael Golden is just a master artist.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
And almost every panel in that comic is you could hang it on your wall and just look at it and go, wow.
Right. And when I opened it and I saw those Jessica Drew panels, I mean, I was sold, because I mean, you're talking to someone. I've collected Jessica Drew since she was a thing. You know, I have my Marvel Spotlight 32. I have her whole original series, plus I have every other series that she had since then. It's just one of those all-time love characters for me. So when I opened that up and she was like highlighted right there it was great. And then when they brought her back in the Avengers after her death in her own book, I was all on board for that too.
So big difference from Carmen Infantino to Michael Golden on drawing Spider-Woman.
Very big difference.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that drew Spider. That first series was cursed with a lot of changes, and I still loved everything, no matter what they threw at her.
There's a panel in that book where I think it's Rogue sticks that thing onto Iron Man from behind, and that is just so.
Oh yeah,
cool.
the device, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, and then he just goes boom, just like, and Michael Golden captures.
Yeah, on the
all
cover.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the panel, you feel that like Iron Man just clunking over.
Right.
I can't say now. That's one of my all-time favorite books, and I got it back a few years ago. I was looking at auctions, looking for them back, and people just wanted too much. And I happened on it at a toy store for $10, a nice high grade. So I was really happy.
Yeah, I don't have mine handy. I'll show it.
Yeah, Mystique KO'd Iron Man. Okay, so my next one is, now this book is special because this is the last book that I bought for my buddy who passed away, my comic shop owner, Kirk, a wonderful guy, nicest guy, and we would talk for hours. And our views on life or politics were much different, but we always had, I don't know, he's just so cool.
Yeah, he
and
was.
we'd sit in his shop and talk to him and go in there and mess around with them. But he sold me this.
Oh,
nice, pretty high grade copy too. You don't
lovely Kirby, man.
Yep. And I always love a good Ben Grimm cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Great stuff.
That looks like it was even pressed.
I didn't press it.
That is clean.
That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no, and that's another thing too, is back then the covers didn't ripple like they do now.
Kirby,
not usually. No, not usually.
And I'm going to talk about Kirby later, but he was a big influence on me as a kid, as he should be on any kid that reads comic books.
I just showed a Kirby Conan cover the other day on one of my Conan shorts.
Yeah. From Beyond the Grave. I mean, this is how inspiring what he did. It just, even if you don't even know who he is and you look at it, you're like, you want to draw. You want to draw something.
It's dynamic.
And it's, I think the best artists, they're simple. I mean, they can put a lot of detail into but the movement is simple. They don't need a background to show the power of the picture.
Right.
And the backgrounds are nice.
Backgrounds lines are nice on there too.
Backgrounds are nice, but if you mess up a background, it could really mess up the picture, the foreground.
But look at the size of those figures, man. It takes up the whole cover, but you can tell there's a major clash. I mean, if I saw that on the spinner rack, I'm buying it. I don't care.
Yeah. And we were talking about Eric Larson earlier, that he can't draw proper anatomy. Kirby couldn't, but he had such talent. He could make the anatomy fit whatever he wanted, and it would look cool. You wouldn't, to me, I don't know, some people, they say when they first look at it, go, oh, that doesn't look right. For me, the first time I've ever seen Kirby, I didn't even focus on that because it was just so dynamic, so powerful.
Right. Well, and hold that cover up for a second more, because I'll talk about it too. So something that I see some artists that can't pull off, like you're looking at the Silver Surfer on that board, and some artists, when they draw, like it would look like a separate piece of the surfer is a separate piece added to the board. That one, the anatomy's flowing with the motion.
Yeah.
So the motion is sold in that picture of the surfer's body position He looks a part of the board. The motion is sold with all of it, and some people can't pull that off.
Well, what he did is they're both in the same perspective. When you draw something, you can make it look cool, but it's not fitting the perspective of the character. It doesn't look right. It's off. Kirby knew perspective. He knew everything. I mean, he knew it all, that he could just go, and then I'm done.
Right?
Because
Talent,
he already
right?
knows. In interviews I would read, he had his library behind him. He'd pull a book down, he'd thumb through it, find a page, okay, and put it up and build like a whole comic around what he just saw on that page. Yeah. That's how his mind works.
I equate Kirby to like somebody who can play music by ear. He could draw by sight, by ear, you know. He didn't need, you know, all kinds of details. He could just make it up.
John Buscema was like that too, because I read many Roy Thomas interviews. Roy would just tell John Buscema what like the book was going to be, and John Buscema would go okay, and then turn in the finished work, and it'd be exactly what Roy was looking for. It's like I don't know how we get it.
He wouldn't need a script. He would just sort of just talk about what's going to happen, and it happened. It's amazing to me. It's amazing that an artist can have that much detail without, you know, meticulous notes and meticulous reference material. It's amazing.
I don't think people understand, and maybe Roger, I know you do a lot of history and stuff, but Kirby's coming from a place as a kid in a dirt poor city with depression. And so he's trying to figure out, how can I make as much money as possible in this situation, in this scenario? Right. And comic books was his way. And when he realized, if I can be the fastest and produce more than the other artists, I can make more money. And that was his motivation in the beginning. I don't know. I can't speak for it later, but that was with a lot of people like Siegel and Schuster. They were very poor. They were kids. They were wanting to find a way to make a good living to help out their household.
Yeah.
So and at the same time, you know, they're kids, they're dreamers, they're imagining all this. What can we do? And it saddens me that they create such an iconic character and then they were taken advantage of.
Right.
Yeah. But in the beginning, they were just looking for work, steady work. They weren't expecting to be
right in their imagination.
Yeah, they had no choice. They had to sign it away. They had no choice. It was either that or just, you know, live in the streets essentially.
But even when they signed it away, there was certain things in that contract that DC or Allied Went National wasn't allowed to do, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, they took advantage of them. Absolutely, yeah.
And when they tried to come back, they just said, "We'll just sweeten your contract just a little." Okay, because they didn't have money to be in court.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they drew them out, and that's it. I mean, they just couldn't fight back effectively until, you know, they got state, really.
All right, I should move on. So we're up to Simon Comics now.
Oh.
So first of all, when I first met him in New York, and here I'm a 50-year-old guy, he's a 17-year-old kid. We're in a New York diner, and I'm a nerd. I'm excited. We're talking comics, whatever. So I'm telling the waitress, yeah, I just met him online, and we're meeting for the first time, and I'm in New York City. And then I look over, and I see the guy across in the booth, his face, and I'm like, what the hell am I saying? Then I'm like, okay, I got to backtrack this. But anyways, he gifted me this book, All Flash 15.
Wow.
1944, wow. Gardner Fox, Martin Maydale art, Gardner Fox on the scripts, or number 15, actually.
Amazing. I remember that video. Amazing. When I saw that, I was like, my jaw dropped, honestly.
This is a book, like, no matter how low the grade is, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
That's what I love about the Golden Age too. I mean, yeah, there are certain books where you don't want certain things, but a book like this, if you got every page and at least the front cover and it's there, that's all you need.
Wow.
Amazing. And that's a book I've never seen in person.
This isn't your father's Barry Allen. Let's put it that way.
No.
You got Jerry saying that's an awesome book, Mike. Congratulations.
So, this is a two-parter. So he sold me this other book. I never thought I'd have this book in my collection. We did a little trade. I gave him a little bit of money.
Oh my God.
Killer. I saw that on your shelf, but man, killer.
Now that's a cover everybody knows.
Yeah.
I just happened to have a second issue of a Golden Age Detective, 1096, I think. I won it in an auction for cheap, and I thought I'm not going to win that auction, so I bought one for 200 and won that one for 100. So then I traded that and some money for this, and he ended up auctioning that off and doubling his money on it.
Wow.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's missing an ad page that I don't care. I got it at a great price. I never thought I'd own this book. It's a big key. I mean, it's probably, I don't think I'll ever own FF1, Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy, or Avengers. So I think this is the next best thing for those.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's no one that wouldn't want to own that. That's a beauty.
And I think I'll get a Daredevil 1 eventually at some point.
Yeah.
But those other books I don't think I'll ever get. But that's okay with me. And I've read those books in reprints in Firesides 100 times.
Right.
Even this one I've read 100 times. I still want to read it even because I haven't read this issue. So I'm going to read it again. But actually, didn't you send me an annual that had this reprint in the
Yes,
back?
correct.
Yeah.
It had it in the back. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool.
That's the experience we're talking about, Mike. With reprints, I love them, but man, imagine that 1960s pulp, and the feel. It's no substitute for that, man.
Right.
If
you live the book.
I figure if the book is in my atmosphere that it's possible to own it, then if I'm reading the reprint, I'm cheating on it. That's how I feel. So if I know I can get the book, and sometimes you got to cheat. Not in real life, but on your comics.
Right, your comics.
That reprint.
Right.
But you still want to get the original one. You still want to hold it. You still want, because you can read the reprint like it's not on newsprint, the one you gave me. This is.
No.
So it has, I don't know, like you bond with the book. I'm nerd, and this is a nerd show, so I'm just going to be nerded.
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir, Mike.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is
Iron nerds, and everyone watching's a nerd. We're in good company here.
I'm proud of it.
I owned this before, but I sold many collections. I am now 2 other issues away from completing this run, The Invaders. So I have people that look out for stuff for me. Lady Fantastic is fantastic at doing that. She always says, "Hey, you want to trade?" And she's the first person I've ever traded comics with in my life. I thought it was cool. So she sent me a trade. I sent her one, and I needed this book. I love this cover. It's another iconic. I'm building this thing up. Another iconic Bronze Age. It's this Gil Kane cover.
Ooh.
And I love it. And so she had one. She had a nice copy.
Wow.
Very classic cover. This goes right along with that.
Goes with Marvel Presents.
Yeah. There's another one from the Inhumans that goes with this too.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I'll show you another one that goes with this.
That running
that
towards
is
you.
just fantastic, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that Invaders run is one of my favorites. Roy Thomas just went back and pulled all those characters from the Golden Age and just made them fabulous. I mean, I just enjoy that series to death.
Bronze Age Marvel superhero covers. They're just, and you see them in the house ads. This one goes with it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's another cover where he's standing in the center. I don't really like that one quite as much.
I think it's like 8 or 9. Yeah.
So she just sent me a trade, probably like 6 books, and when I opened it, there was some good stuff in there. Cool. King's Flash Gordon, a Marvel romance book from the 70s with John Romita art, I think, on the cover. The one where she's leaning in the car to steal the guy's job or something. I forget what it says, feminism and something. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So next is from my BWD, Jesse Lynch buddy. He sent me a Centaur comic coverless. Now, if you know anything about Centaur, coverless is still scarce. Still
very hard to find a Centaur. Yeah.
And this is a first appearance. So I made a reproduction cover for it.
Man.
Wow.
And funny enough, this is number 4, but it's the first appearance of Stars and Stripes.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is from September
Fabulous.
1941. And then if you know Jesse, if you get his AOKs, he tells you all the defects.
All the details.
And those are his reasons for sending it to you, because
Right.
he has, if something happens with a book, he has a bad experience in any way, he doesn't want it in view anymore. So he puts it in a pile, and he sends some really killer stuff to people.
Oof. Yes, I can attest to that. I got a box.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is 3 comics in one. So one of my all-time favorite Marvel superhero is Roger.
Marvel?
Marvel.
Um,
Oh, you know this.
Captain America?
No, that's third.
Oh. Moon Knight, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
I just gave one of these away in a prize, I think earlier this year.
Yeah, you did. What a great book.
Wow.
This is for Solo Moon Knight. Roger doesn't like the art in here. Or
That's
the cover.
okay.
Or the cover.
No, I like the cover. But the inside
the
art is
cover,
just
the
okay.
cover is beautiful.
Yeah, I like the cover. I like the negative stuff in the back, especially.
The Conquer Lord. I mean, some of these cheesy names they would come up with. Going, the Conquer Lord. Bow down.
Well,
Yeah,
it was Bronze Age, you know.
It's tongue in cheek, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's first Solo. Glad to have that. I bought that like 2 or 3 years ago. I had one before. This book I found in a dollar bin, but I've had it many times. I actually gave one away, I think, to Life with 2 YouTubers, I think.
Cool.
So that's Moon Knight Solo number 1, 1991 or 1981.
Yeah.
Bill Sienkiewicz, beautiful art inside.
And that guy can do so many styles.
And so I used to draw comics. So as a kid, I would be inspired by Marvel's stuff to make my own universe. So I made a superhero that looked just like Moon Knight, and I called him, what did I call him? Oh, Space Invaders, after the game, because it was back in the 80s when I did it. I made superheroes for all the video games. Missile Commander, not Asteroids, I forget, a couple more. Oh, Defender.
Contra.
No, I never played that. And then, so to go with the theme, I got this from my buddy Dave at Mark Spector Comics in a trade.
Wow.
Third Moon Knight. And he didn't just give me any crappy issue, too. It's really nice looking. It's another book. When he said, do you need this? I'm like, he didn't just say that, did he? Who says, do you just need a third appearance of Moon Knight? It's not like it's not a minor key at this point.
Right.
Even the third appearance is a big deal.
Although technically it wasn't Moon Knight himself, it was an illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the image of Moon Knight, that's the third one. Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, Mark, just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want. And so I think I threw in a nice copy. I did. I threw in a high copy of Captain America Annual 8, the Zek issue. Yeah. And I'll tell you, that is a great comic if you have not read it. The art is amazing. Not to say he's no Michael Golden, but he knows how to make panels dynamic to where you want to keep looking for more. You want to keep going through it because it's a classic battle between Wolverine and Captain America. It's really good.
And that whole Werewolf by Night run, even though it was up and down, so much fun to read.
Oh yeah, I love the Captain America run, especially the Zek art, that era, the Byrne era, even the eclectic era in the Bronze Age, like first Nomad, first Miss Hydra or something, Lady Hydra.
Right,
Madam Hydra.
Madam Hydra.
Yep.
The classic Kirby when he came back and they had that big captain just kind of punching you out in your face.
Yeah, the monster Captain America era.
I just got that too, and I found it in a back issue bin for $5. I was like,
nice.
Yeah,
I love that era. It's very unique. It's very dark and very just offbeat, but I love it.
it is. It's like his Black Panther run. Really weird, but
yeah, it's really strange. But
it's
I still
from the mind.
And 2001: A Space Odyssey.
What's up, Jason?
Bizarre as can be.
What's up, Jerry? What's up, Graham? Hey, Comic Book Worm, Jackson Roy Kirk. You know he's got to be here.
He is.
He's the loyal one. We're missing James though. James Gallegos.
No, he was here.
No, he's here.
Oh, he was? Okay.
James Gallegos is here.
You can always count on James and Jackson Roy Kirk to be in your chat.
Yeah, the J guys, the JJs.
I think I'm on number 9.
Oh, I lost count a while ago. I get
Already?
lost in the books, and then I have no idea where we're at.
So we were
3
talking.
and 1, you know.
So what's my favorite thing? I treat eBay like a back issue bin, and I just dig through Golden Age. I put all kinds of different. I'll go from 1939, look through all the books for pages, then I'll put in 1940, and I'll keep going through the eras. I mean, I won't sometimes do it in one day, but the next day I'll okay, where did I leave off? So my buddy Joe from Hawaii, that I could strangle him. He's like, well, how about you? Are you checking new listings on my comic shop? So that's a black hole I've been going down. So now I'm checking eBay and I'm checking my comic shop on it at least every 4 or 5 hours. So I don't miss out what's posted new. And I've been getting some good stuff. But I found this book last year. It was on auction, just recently listed. And to buy it now, I didn't even hesitate. I think I paid, let me see, I usually write what I pay on the back. I got it with shipping and taxes, $69.55. So this is a Frank Thomas cover, Cracker Jack Funnies, number 34 from April 1941. So
I have never seen that cover. That is great.
I have never seen it before or since I bought it.
What a steal.
That is cool.
And it makes you wonder, why are these books so scarce?
What's it say in the circle down there?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but you would think even with those reasons, they were printed in the millions. They shouldn't be this scarce. It says The Owl, Red Rider, Bob Bill, Flying Fortress, Gabby Scoops, and Elderly Queen. So this is a big comic. There's a lot in here. You can't read this when you sit down once. You got to get up, come back to it, maybe come back the next day.
That's beautiful, though.
And it's funny. He's got Owl Lady, Owlmobile. So it's clearly a ripoff from Batman.
Right.
Which is totally fine with me because they did it good. He looks really cool. And another thing, I'm sorry, go ahead, Roger.
Oh, I was going to say, Mike, to answer your question, a lot of the reason why those are scarce is that, remember, there were paper drives during the war. And remember, comics were meant to be like newspapers. Just, you read them and they were disposable. They were recycled.
Now,
so unless you were one of the very few big-time collectors in the 40s, there's probably less than 100 of those.
So you grew up in Miami in the 80s, correct?
Correct.
And where did you grow up when you were younger, like your teen years, Gary?
Plattsburgh, New York.
Was that a pretty big city? No.
Small town.
Okay. So I grew up in Milwaukee. So I don't know in Miami if they did this, but we had paper drives. People, you just take everything in and you get money for it.
Yep. We had
newspapers, magazines. Yep. So I'm sure that this was something that was happening regularly because people were a lot poorer, in the 40s.
Right. So imagine from the 40s to today, all those, obviously maybe not in the past 30 years because comics have been collectible, in the 70s and 80s, but all those years from the 40s to the 80s, most of them have been pulped.
So imagine someone comes to your house, you're not home, your mom's home, and say, we're doing a paper drive. Do you have anything you want to donate? Oh yeah, my kid's got a stack of comics here. Let's throw those in there.
Oh yeah.
It's heartbreaking when you think about it now.
Anyways, yeah. And I love covers that have the hero giant and they'll have the antagonist little. there's a lot of covers like that in the Golden Age. I think, if I'm correct, I think that Jerry Robinson's the one that started that first. Or do you think there was earlier?
He definitely did it. I don't know if he started it, but he definitely
You
did a
didn't
lot of them.
see that a whole lot on Marvel Comics,
No.
like Timely's.
Some on Submariner, you saw Bill
Yeah.
Everett did a few of those, but not too many. You're right.
Because they had Schomburg, man. If you
Yeah.
have Schomburg, you ain't got to do that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good point.
Okay, so this
I
book,
love Disney and comics. Says Mama would have been disowned for that, for recycling the comics. In the comic book G Spot, how you doing, sir? Says sweet
Hey,
cover,
Robert.
very nice.
so to reiterate again, I love to check new listings, Golden Age dig. This book, My Comic Shop new listing for $125 is a steal for this book. And it's missing 3/4 of a story page, but even in that condition, this book usually goes for, I think, around $300, if not more.
Wow.
And I just got it, and I'm like, it's another one.
Oh,
yeah, everyone looks at this and they're like,
it's funny you brought that up because I was looking at a collected edition of that on Amazon last week because I never read Miss Fury and I've always wanted to.
I haven't yet. I know they resurrected her in the Heroes Project or Superheroes Project from Dynamite.
Right, she's a public domain now.
I think I have the Adam Hughes cover, the #1.
Read it and let me know if I should spend the money on it.
Well, you shouldn't spend any more than I spent. That's why I never had it before. I'm not going to spend $300 for it.
Oh no, this is a collected. I would not. Yeah, they have a collection of those out.
Worth it. It's worth it.
Okay.
Well, how much is it?
$60 for the collected version.
Oh, you have to do what you feel comfortable with. That's what I tell anybody when they want to know if a price is right on a book. I'm like, it doesn't matter what I tell you. I could tell you retail, and I could tell you what I would pay, but you have to pay what you feel comfortable with.
Oh, I just meant if it's good reading. I have no doubt that
I'm sure it is. If
the
not,
hardback is $60 is a good deal.
I'm sure the pictures alone are good. Did I post the pictures on? I don't know if I did. I looked in it. It looks really cool. No, actually, this one sucks. That's right. I looked in here. I'll tell you why it sucks. I don't see where she turns into Miss Fury in the whole comic.
Really? So the cover's a mislead, huh?
Oh.
You know, it's her, but she just never goes into costume.
Huh.
Yeah, I did look up because I posted. I think I posted some pictures on eBay.
That is strange. That is very strange for that
era. On the first splash page, that's it.
Wow.
Wow.
One of those in-betweener issues then, huh? Getting all set up.
I guess she goes undercover or something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and I just love the name Miss Fury.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
The cover alone.
And you know who her father is, right?
Nope.
Sergeant Fury.
Ha ha. Is it really?
No. That was a very bad
I just saw
joke.
Gary's eyes wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I am now on to what was the other item after 10?
The one with a story.
Oh, this is the first comic I bought off the newsstand.
Oh.
Actually, 2 of them.
Ooh.
It's funny because I couldn't remember, because I'm gonna tell you a little story. When I was looking for it, I pulled it up and I knew it was one of this run. So I looked at that and I'm like, that's it. And then my other side of my brain goes, no, that's not it. Because I thought it was a different issue. So I said, let me look up the other one. And I looked it up and then I went back and I'm like, yeah, that is it, because it was exactly the same month. This is the first one I bought. I thought this was the Doom cover when I pulled it up quick.
Wow.
So Fantastic Four, John Byrne run, 236 from 1981.
That
you
is
started
a
late.
beauty.
But I went backwards once I bought this, as you're going to see.
Is that the Whitman price variant too?
No.
No, it's not.
That's just a direct sale. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, remember, this is the first one I bought off the newsstand. I was getting comics other ways.
Yeah.
But this one I went and bought brand new. First one I bought brand new. I bought this one the same time. One of my favorite. I buy anytime I see this, I pick it up.
Yeah, you sent me one of those.
Yeah.
Oof. Another beauty.
Yeah.
Marvel just had to get rid of those bike ad banners on the cover.
Man.
Now, like you said, this is one of those ones because the perspective doesn't match. So they
Right.
could have put this first, put the Moon Knight over the top, and then put this on it.
Yeah.
But he did it in such a way that it looks cool.
Yeah. Agreed.
But can you see the perspective of each thing is different?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit together. But
I was just focusing in on the Moon Knight in the background because they always no matter what they put that cape in the moon crescent even if it
Yep.
doesn't make sense at the time.
Right.
Because
There's a wind from somewhere that makes it a crescent.
Right.
That's like every time I read old Batman and they're just swinging on this little, as they call it, silken cord. It's virtually impossible that you could do it.
No.
Right.
And the way that they're doing it, the weight of who they are, where are they coming from? But it's like you gotta just believe it.
Yeah. Right. You just got to have fun with it.
Thank God for the Michael Keaton movies and the little what do they call it? The grappler gun.
Yeah, grappling gun. Yeah.
Right.
Because before that, it just didn't make sense. Even the grappling gun, they did a video on YouTube and they built one. It can't really hold the weight of a human.
No.
But
yeah, the gun would fall apart.
It looks definitely cooler than throwing this plastic batarang with a little cord tied to it and it goes around a pipe.
Right.
Okay, so when I bought this and I read it, I was like, wow. I wanted to start drawing my own comics after I bought this, and I did. I'm like, I want to create a world because it looks so cool.
Right.
So I was like, who is this? I know who Fantastic Four is, but I mean, at this point, I'm not the kind of collector that did anything with the story, like knew the history of Marvel, like detailed. I wasn't that big of a nerd. I just like to read and draw. So I'm like, I gotta find out more about the Fantastic Four. So how old was I at this point? So 81. I can't remember. Okay, let me do the math.
15 maybe?
I was set at 1970. I was 13. I was 13.
13. Okay.
So I went out and I went to find some back issues on the Fantastic Four. And then this is the next one that I got. So, at that point, I didn't really know anything about Kirby. I had read stuff, I'm sure, that was his, but I didn't know that. I never really cared about looking artists or writers at that point. It wasn't until I saw John Byrne's art that I was like, I got to know more about art. And I was an artist, but I didn't draw comics to this point. I did other stuff. I did paintings and drawings here and there, portraits of the family members and stuff like that. But when I saw this, holy crap, I was like, I want to create my own world.
Right. And those covers back then, they just captured your imagination right away. And I mean, as a kid, when you see stuff like that, that's it. You're sold. You're gone.
Well, the thing is, when you look at Byrne's art and you really look at it, you're like, this is like really simple, but he just knows where to put everything. And I'm thinking, we can do that. Anybody can do that.
His art's clean.
Very
you
clean.
just have to know where to put it on the paper and it will look cool. And I'm like, I want to figure that out. And I went and tracked this down. And then when I saw Kirby, I was like, holy crap, this guy's just as good as Byrne, but he's totally different. A lot different. It's like, how can these two artists be? I guess this is when my awareness came about on comics, because I was like, how could they both be this good to make me like really love it? Like I'm going excited and be so different. Right. So I would look at Kirby's and I would try to mimic both artists. One day I was going to get some art. I should have brought some art. Because me and a friend started doing a comic and we were doing it in the Kirby art. I was drawing, he was inking. And then I would do stuff in Burns. I just couldn't figure out what I like. I think I liked Kirby's better to draw. Oh, yeah.
Let's see what you got, Roger.
That's one of my original covers for Omen X. It's supposed to be. I did it in a way that if you put 3D glasses on it, it looks cool.
So you did that, Mike?
Yeah.
That's a beauty.
Here. Let me show you this.
I have another one of his up on the wall here too.
Oh,
And this is going up eventually.
that is incredible.
Isn't that that tongue that he wrote? That man, that thing is wicked nice. Look at that thing.
It's supposed to be. You look at it with 3D glasses. That's why I made the tongue like that.
It has a 3D effect. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was telling you. So I started wanting to create my own universe, but I was like, kind of copying Marvel because everything's cool. So I came up with this team. I copied the name from Justice League called Liberty League.
Cool.
So this guy here is like the Thing, but his name is Lumox. Then you got this guy. He's like Yellow Jacket, but his name's Vespa. And then you got the blue instead of the Human Torch. You got the Blue Flame.
Oh wow!
I think they had a Golden Age Blue Flame. And then you also had Icicle, which is obviously Iceman.
Iceman.
I had an earlier character, so when I've drawn like quite a few issues of this, and the first team that I did, like several issues, I had a guy called Rubber Band, and a guy called Quick Flash, and I killed them both off in a storyline. And this is Myth. Obviously, he's supposed to be like Thor.
That is just fantastic. And a comic bookworm says, "Awesome. Myth commands thee. Halt. Let thou face my fury."
That's cool, Mike. That's really cool. Yeah. I made my own Legion of Superheroes, but I couldn't draw them. They're just like stick figures, but I did make my own version.
Here's another cover I did. I started the Omen X comic so many times. I've never actually made it
Now,
all
is
the way
Omen
through.
X, that's an original from you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a prince on another planet, Zandel. And he's next in line to be king, but he wants to be a detective.
That is a fantastic cosmic cover.
He wants to be on the police force and fight crime, but he's royalty. His father won't have that. So there's two different races that live on this planet, and the other ones are called plasma goblins, and they can turn into plasma. And they
that would look great with those other three books you showed earlier.
They can also host bodies.
All those with the starscapes in the back. Yeah.
You know how I did this? I took it on a computer and blew it up 800% and just took the white paintbrush on the lowest setting and just kept dotting it.
Cool.
Wow.
And then shrunk it back down.
Cool.
And then printed it out.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
So
maybe one day you'll finish that comic, Mike, and you can bedazzle us with your
well, here you have spaceships crashing on Earth because the two top criminals escape off his planet, and he jumps in a police spaceship and follows them. Ends up crashing on Earth after them. That's where the story begins. Well, that's where the main story of the series begins, because they can host other bodies, but only for so long, and then they kill the person. And he has these things here. He snaps them together if they ever attack them, and they electrocute anything around them. So yeah, I got it all figured out.
You do.
But that is incredible. And I'm not just blowing smoke, dude. That's an incredible cover.
Oh, what the heck happened?
I would put that next to a Jim Starlin space cover too.
Hold on a sec. I got one more.
Yeah, that Captain Marvel 29, I think, be perfect.
Right. So Naman says, make a print of it and sell it. He will buy it.
Cool.
Okay, so the big character, he's not in here. I took him out. Is Nighttiger, and I don't have any original art right now. So Nighttiger is another original character. He's a combination of Black Panther and Batman, but that's what you named
yourself after, right?
That's what I named the channel after. People assumed that was my name, so I went with it.
No, I meant the channel. I know your name's Mike. I don't think any parent would name their kid Nighttiger.
No, but I mean,
I know not.
As a nickname, they that I was Nighttiger because of the channel. and that's not how it was meant, but I'll take it. It's a status symbol that I'll take.
Right. And Nighttiger is a cool name.
It is. Yeah.
My daughter came up with it. Our cat had kittens, and she started saying all these, like, what can we name them? And she said Nighttiger. I said, oh, that's my character's name. As soon as she said it.
I
Cool.
couldn't do that with my cat's name. I'm not gonna call my channel Noodles.
Well, we didn't call the cat that.
Gary the Noodles guy.
Right?
So I got some spec here.
Oh, James
I
Gallego
gotta-
says he had some original Nighttiger art.
I think I did send some to him. I sent some. I know I sent a couple people original stuff.
I have some up here on my
Jackson.
wall. Yep.
Says you'll always be Nighttiger to him.
Aw. Okay, so I don't know if you can guess what the spec is on this. Isn't High Evolutionary coming in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or something
Yep.
like that?
Yep.
I ended up got a sweet deal on this on eBay, which I was shocked because I guess I was the first one to get it when they listed it was $100. And this book is 200 at this grade right now or more.
I just love the way they drew the motion of the hammer back then too.
And that's a Kirby. Look at the power in the arm.
Yeah.
Well, I
Look
was
at
gonna
that
say
arc.
the arms, Kirby
Yeah.
arms in his face, you can always tell.
Now I'm not too thrilled with the Thor. I don't know. I think someone else might have done that arm because maybe John Buscema or something, because that doesn't look like a Kirby muscles very well. You know, they were always switching stuff or people was finishing.
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I don't know that Buscema was doing that back then, though. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know, because look at the Thor. The Thor just looks
Yeah.
Yeah.
very,
it looks a
very
little
Kirby.
odd. Yeah.
I'm
very.
I'm pretty good with Buscema art, and that doesn't look like his arms.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say
No,
probably
that's
not.
that's High Evolutionary's arms.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what the spec is. How about this one? I sent this to Roger, I think.
Yep. I still got it. Yeah. Marvel Zombies.
First appearance.
Yeah. Right at the end there.
And that got hot like a couple months ago when the What If came out.
Yeah. Actually, it's a pretty good run. I was shocked. I mean, the art definitely looks like it could be plagiarized from a lot of different sources, but he put it together well. The
Yep.
women look really good.
Yeah.
You were
Sure.
talking about
The art looks good. It's Greg
we were
Land.
talking about Byrne earlier, and I love his run on Fantastic Four in the 90s.
I don't know. Is that the later before he left?
Is it he was the one that
Roger.
had the She-Hulk and
You know, the sensational She-Hulk run.
yeah,
No,
that
he's
was
talking
great,
late.
but he did some Fantastic Four work too with the She-Hulk in it.
Yeah,
didn't
but I
he?
think that
Yeah.
was still 80s.
That was 80s.
Oh, 80. Okay, I'm sorry, 80s.
When you said
What'd I
90s,
say,
you threw
90s?
me. Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
what?
okay.
Yeah, it was 80s.
Sorry. Didn't mean to
'Cause I-
throw you.
I'm like, I don't remember. I didn't read any Fantastic Four 90s, so
No,
I
we
did,
said
and there's no burn past 300, I don't believe.
and we've said it on this channel before. Like Byrne's one of those artists that could just draw any hero you give him, and it looks great.
yep.
Yep.
Oh, he rebooted them all too.
He
Romita
did.
touched up a lot of covers. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything Silver Surfer, I'm sure you want to spec on. He's coming back at some point.
Oh, you
Has
know
to.
it.
Has to.
The question is he coming back in a solo movie or being introduced in the FF again?
I don't know. I don't care.
Right. It's too bad because Jeffrey, what was his name? Jeffrey Jones, or the guy who played him?
Yeah.
Doug Jones. Doug Jones was a great surfer, and I wish it would have. And of course, his voice was done by Lawrence Fishburne, but it's just too bad that never took off to his own solo flick.
What saddens me though is books like these, they're just the average Joe can't really go out and buy them anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really
true.
sad.
Yeah. I'm glad I got the FF at least.
But
I'm glad I got those two because I don't know. I got a good deal on them somehow. I don't know how.
they'll come out with facsimiles of them once they get hot again.
Yeah.
So I
story will be
don't know.
out.
I have more stuff. I mean, I got some Jumbo. This is new. The later one of the last third issue from the last, where they took Sheen off the cover. Well, she's up here, but the main cover is I think it's Ghost.
Oh,
These can be.
and that's who I got to get on this channel too. Is Jambo Comics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bub's coming on.
Bub. Okay, great.
Ooh, High School Romance, nice.
Yeah, you remember that? High School Romances?
I
Who in
never
high
got
school?
any
You know, they
myself.
have fun covers. There's some people that hate on them. The covers are fun.
I just never got a chance in high school to hang out with my girlfriend in front of a fire on a bear rug.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I was lucky if she even like saw me. You know.
Roger, do you know who this is?
No, I don't.
Yvonne DiCarlo.
Yvonne DiCarlo. Oh, yeah, from the
I'm not
Munsters.
familiar with her.
From the
Lily.
Munsters.
Lily
Yeah.
Munster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, she looks very different
I'll
without
say
that
that's
makeup.
not even recognizable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she was a hot leading actress.
It's a little before my time, Mike, and yours too.
Oh yeah, but I watched a lot of black and white movies.
Oh yeah.
Banned.
Oh yeah. They're still giving those Three Stooges shorts on WeTV.
I just bought the DVDs, the first season of the cartoons from the flea
Lily
market
Munster,
for $2.
yeah. Steve
I
knows who
love
she is.
Disney Comics has it. Lily Munster.
Yeah. I always had a crush on her, always. And I thought that her niece looked very pretty, but I just had a crush on Lily Munster. I don't know what it was, but I was a mixed up kid. Got this cheap. It was a nice UFO cover from
Ooh.
1959. This was $13 on my comic shop. It's all there. It's tight. Nothing's missing, ripped, or nothing. I was shocked. It's weird. Sometimes they will list books for really cheap for I don't even know what reason. Way below retail.
That's all right. Someone benefits from the
yeah.
inventory dump. Joe Yank, huh?
Most dangerous legs in the world. The guy's dropping a grenade.
Oh,
But
yeah.
didn't-
Nice.
Yeah, and didn't you just mention this book recently?
I put it on Instagram.
Okay, I knew I had seen it before.
Operation Woo Woo. I always happy to get this book. Usually goes for quite a bit of money, and it was, what did I get it for? 41 with shipping and tax. Now, do you know
Wow.
who Buster Crabbe is, Gary?
Yes, I do. The original Flash Gordon in the serials.
And now look at that scene. It looks like a Flash Gordon scene. Looks like Ming in the background.
Right.
Dale up there. He's got the fishbowl helmet on. That's
That
why.
is
And then
awesome. I love the old sci-fi covers. They're so amazing.
He's falling into the flames.
It's funny. You can still watch, I think, the Buster Crabbe serials on Amazon.
I think I have some DVDs of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I have them on my hard drive.
Roger, the art chemist is asking if you collect any original art.
Yeah, I answered no. I mean, that's
Yeah, you do from YouTube.
well, yeah,
Numbers.
from YouTubers, but not from the comics themselves. Yeah, it's too rich for my. Even a little bitty page will cost you hundreds, and that's comic money for me. You know.
Right?
So Gary, this is a 6.0. I got it for $41 shipped with from my comic shop.
Nice.
This book should be over $100. It's really nice.
It is. I love the helmet she's got on too.
I haven't read any of this, but someone was saying that she came from the future and she wouldn't dress in the caveman clothes or something. Do you know anything about Alley Oop, Roger?
It was a strip. I know it was a strip for a long time, but no, not really. Yeah.
I've been
I don't know
looking to
why.
get a nice copy for a long time, and I couldn't believe this showed up for that price.
And I'm always a sucker when they draw those thong sandals on when the thongs go up the leg. I always like that style.
Oh, like on the Amazons?
Yeah, it just looks cool.
I don't disagree. When you said thong, you had me right there.
Right?
This book is cool, Roger. I did some research on this.
It is
1946. This was published by Interfaith Committee of Protestant Digest.
Yep.
To fight fascism.
Yep.
Wow.
It
Yep,
says
correct.
contains uplifting stories about race prejudice, discrimination, and all other forms of fascism. So the
Yep.
first two issues have these fantastical demon covers, whatever.
Right.
This one has the guy like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and he's like, no, sir. Like, basically telling you be humble.
Right.
And a very
Help-
dramatic drawing with the coat.
Help your fellow man up off the ground.
Yeah, I love those small publishers because they're just the quirkiest things ever. I have a bunch of them.
I was happy to find that.
Art Chemist, the same with me. Original art tends to be way out of my price range. The only thing I have is what people have sent me, and I was thankful for any of that I have. But as far as buying it myself, it just is way out of my price range.
I'll tell you what my theory on buying original art. Are you ready? Why? I can buy a comic book. That's everything.
I got a friend here locally that has tons of original art and the pages and stuff. And it is cool to look at, and you don't realize how big it is either. Like, people don't understand how big the original art is.
Yeah.
And it is nice to look through those books, but there's pages he's paying $500-$600 a page for.
And those are good investments too, You want to purchase it,
They're
you get
beautiful.
a good deal. Because I'm sure comic book art is going to continue to go up. It'll never go down.
Yeah. They're one of a kinds. So as far as that goes, yeah. But I'd like to have a piece maybe someday in the future, but while I'm comic collecting, I'm going to focus on the comics.
The thing is, I think if I wanted something, I would draw it myself. If I wanted it that bad. Because I've been thinking about getting some those blank variants and doing some art on there and giving them away. I wanted to get some blank covers of Stray Dogs, and then do Hong Kong Phooey on one, Scooby-Doo on another.
Cool.
Stuff like that.
Hanna-Barbera.
What's the other one? Really, really snuffy or really the gruffy guy he's like in the detective coat.
With the overcoat.
The crime dog?
No, the other one from Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's his name? I can't even remember.
Can't recall. Yeah.
No, something gruff or snuffy. I don't remember. Anyways,
our buddy Dave would know.
Now I gotta know.
This is weird. I bought one on eBay, and looking at the picture, I text the guy, and I said, "Does that have the rip all the way through?" And he's like, "Yeah." Can you refund my money, please? Because you didn't put that in the description. Because I hate that little rip. It goes all the way through the whole book. It's from those kids folding them up in the quarters and putting them in their back pocket.
Snuffles.
That doesn't sound right.
Snufflepuff.
Yeah, there's Snuffles. There's Muttley. And there's Huckleberry Hound. Huh?
Is it Muttley?
Yeah, this is.
I think it
could be Muttley. Yeah,
I think it's Muttley.
Could be Muttley. Yeah.
So I got this one for less than the other one, and I love this cover. I'm gonna go get another one. There were a couple on there, like 4 or 5 for $50. I went back like a week later, and there was only 2, and they wanted over 100. I'm like, ooh. I think somebody's seen, because I posted this on Instagram, and so did DC Sci-Fi. I'm wondering if people, when they saw this, they went and bought it, because there was like no copies for inexpensive anymore when I went back.
And that's one I had never seen before either till now.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
The new one
in books like history books on the Golden Age, and I think I probably saw it in the Gerber Guide, but I kind of forgot about it. And when DC Sci-Fi showed it, I'm like, "Oh, I want that."
Yeah, and that probably can't be reprinted because I don't think they have that license anymore.
Yeah, because it's a radio show.
Yeah.
Or the 40s.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Anyways, and I got 2 of these, a low grade and a high grade copy.
Oh wow!
I saw your Instagram post on that. Yeah.
The other copy is going to go for payment on work on one of my books.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is probably the best electric chair cover, but not the most iconic.
Yeah, because he's not actually in there. Hey, Dave!
Oh, is that what it is? If he's in there, it's worth more?
If he's in there, it's worth more. If he's sitting down in the electric chair, it's worth more.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then Diaz told me if they got a flamethrower and nobody's being burned, it's not worth much. They got to have people being burned.
Right.
We're sick people as comic book comedians.
We are. Yeah, we are.
We want
Right.
covers with women tied up and being
Yeah,
tortured.
the bondage covers.
Yeah, exactly.
I was happy to get this. So cheap.
That's the one Jerry just worked on too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And someone listed this. I offered them $25 less, and within a second they took it. It's missing half the back cover because they had coupons and it's clipped out. And it's got 2 more staples that were added, but this book is just so hard, and people want this book because it has so many factors to it. It has the World War II. He has the sign of Germany. And then this was Steamboat, was a racial stereotype character
Right.
that eventually was asked to be removed from the series. So with him on the cover, it actually increases the value of the book. It's a great art though. That boom, like you can just feel it. Look at the cloud of smoke right around it.
Right. Yeah. Well, you can feel the hammer hitting it too.
Yeah, clink,
Yeah.
boom,
Clang. Yeah, and the follow through. Yeah. Cool.
Great stuff.
Picked up these from one seller. Another YouTuber and me are doing a deal with a private seller.
Wow.
I would mention who it is, but I'm not sure if he wants me to at this point yet.
Man, I just grew up with Looney Tunes, and now they're considered too violent, but it was so great.
Yeah.
But these are all the World War II covers or related war bonds.
Oh yeah, war bonds. Yeah.
This one,
yeah.
this is a
Very
scarce
nice.
one right here.
Yeah,
I have
I've
never
never
seen
seen
it
that one.
before.
Yeah. Very nice.
And then I got this one too.
Brer Rabbit.
Oh,
If you
Brer
haven't
Rabbit,
seen
yeah.
Steve's comic book call the other day, he talks about this. It's so the tar baby was actually a term that came from African folklore.
Oh,
But of course, it got used as a derogatory word towards dark-skinned Americans and slaves in the 1800s. But just the classic, you got your stereotypical this, you got your dumb hick Southern boys over there. It's got a lot of stereotyping.
right.
But that's what comic books was. It was about exaggeration.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant as harm
Well, I think
or
every
to hurt
era has
you.
a snapshot of the time that it was
Yeah.
produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now they have homosexuality in comics. That really, I don't like that at all. That's insensitive, I think, to people. But see, they accept it. It's accepted in comic book form today. So it's not any different than that. People, I mean, sure that was very maybe hurtful to certain people, but it wasn't meant to be. Just like what they're doing today, even though I feel it's wrong and not good for the industry, they don't feel it's hurting anybody. So that's why they do it. So I just wanted to make that point, and people look at history as repeating itself, basically. I mean, you can't get offended at stuff that was back then because it wasn't meant to be hurtful.
Right.
Like today, like I said, they have stuff in there I find hurtful, but it's their belief is it's not meant to be. And that's just how.
Well, it's like that with old literature and novels too. You read anything from any different period of time, and there's things that today are cringy, but back then it just wasn't thought of.
I mean, and how can you learn anything if everything is whitewashed?
Right.
I mean, freedom is about choosing right or wrong, not just choosing right. So you got to have people to choose wrong in order to know what right is. So you got to understand things that aren't nice or good or insensitive to understand what is good. If you don't have that comparison, how are people in the future going to know if they're miserable,
what the right path
happy,
is.
or if they're hurting someone or not hurting someone? So I showed you this. This is I'm going to the dark side. My first 9/8 slab from the 90s too. It has all of it that I don't, everything I don't stand for. The 9/8 slab, the slab comic, and it's a 90s book. I don't know. I just have this fascination with Hero 6. I just think it's really cool.
Big Hero 6, yeah. It's
I like the characters.
It's a cool character.
And the fact is,
I think adorable.
My grandson left his Big Hero 6 robot here, and it was sitting by our TV for like over a year. It was just staring at me. So maybe that's what it was.
It worked on you,
It
Mike.
finally subliminally got in there.
Yeah, it got in there.
influenced you.
That's it. So, okay, love you. I got to show one more, and I got to have dinner with my wife.
Sounds good.
She's been patiently waiting for the comic nerd.
Nice.
Genghis Khan cover. He's got the Junior Rangers tied up.
Is that Joe Simon cover?
No, I don't think it is.
No. Okay.
I don't know who it is. I couldn't find out who it was.
It doesn't say it on the banner, on the blue
But
banner up top.
I don't think he did any work in this series. He didn't. Him and Jack actually started on issue 25 or 6, I think.
Oh, so later on.
No, like 27. I think issue 27 became a crime comic, and then it was Jack and Simon doing the stories and the art.
All right.
So it was Junior Rangers up to that point, and I've been trying to get all the issues of the Junior Rangers, and then the issue 27 to 29, I think, is somewhat Jack and Simon's best good girl covers, in my opinion. And they're not really that good either.
But don't tell Jesse Simon that.
But for them, I thought it was pretty good. It's like they were attempting to do some good girl. And those are pricey, even in low grade. And it's like every time I find them, they're missing the centerfold too.
Now, on that label, Mike, right next to the 3.0, what's the little notation up there? What's the info it's giving you?
Cream to off-white pages, which I'll never know if that's true because
I was hoping it was something of historical value with the book.
But what's historical about this run with the Junior Rangers, issue 21, I think, has the very first atomic superhero in comics ever. Wow. And I do have that issue. The guy wouldn't come down. So back then I bought it like 4 years ago and paid $100 for it, but now I don't think you can get it for that. People are trying to ask more than that. But this book here I got for $100, like $120 with taxes and shipping. But usually this raw goes for like $200. So I was shocked that my comic shop had it for that much.
Wow.
And
like I said, there's some good deals you can find on my comic shop.
Oh, there is. I recommend shopping there. I don't shop anywhere else. eBay, if you see it on eBay and it's at my comic shop, go to the site. This could be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to pay all the fees.
Right.
And you can bundle stuff together. You can do a little shopping spree there.
And they have sales sometimes too. You can take advantage of a code word sale.
Yeah, if you sign up and you get and ask to get the email, you'll get the code word.
Right.
And they have like 4 different areas of sales every sales period.
Correct.
So they'll have like Marvel's A through B, and then they'll have
right
sci-fi covers from 1950s, and they'll have like 4 different.
Yeah.
So I was happy. Yeah, I'm really happy to get that.
Yeah, I bought a few Conans off there to upgrade in the collection.
I found almost the whole run from like 120 to the end in 50-cent bin a couple years ago. So nice. I got a really good run on that. Picked this up at Ollie's.
Oh, nice.
Really good. There's a lot of history in here about Will Eisner in the early golden age. It's really fascinating.
Cool. Yeah, Eisner was a genius creator.
He said
Spirit.
Will Eisner, Joe Simon, and Harvey Kurtzman were the 3 businessmen of the industry in the beginning. They didn't think about how can I make a paycheck this week. They thought about what can I do for the form or the industry in the future.
Right.
Very forward thinkers.
They grew a brand. Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate you. Man, I have to go back and read all these comics.
Right. Well, we'll start the wrap up while you're reading. First, I want to thank everyone that was in the chat tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. Roger, what have you got coming up on your channel, sir?
Not much. I think probably I'm going to do Brian LCS had a Spider-Man cover challenge.
I'm going to do that one too.
You're going to do that too? Okay. So I'll probably do that like Monday or Tuesday. And I think I'm going to start my Legion of Superheroes retrospective on Thursday or Friday.
Nice. And Mike, what have you got coming up, sir?
Okay, so I have a secret Marvel key contest going right now. So I made a little message at the end of a video, one of the recent ones. Only 3 people caught it. And if they did what I asked, they were entered.
Nice.
So that's coming up. I'm probably gonna, if I get time, I want to announce it tomorrow. And I may just give 3 prizes away because there was only 3 entries.
Right.
Or if I see, I'll go back after this show, and if people had found out what it is and were entered, then I'll just do a nice. So I'm going to start giving away some pretty nice key books.
Everybody in the chat is now going over to Nighttiger's channel.
Right.
Because I want to do some secret stuff. So I'm going to be leaving little messages in different videos every now and then to have secret random drawings.
Cool.
So and I think I'm going to do something for my 1,500 subscriber, which I haven't done, and I'm like almost at 1,700.
Yeah, you're way above that.
I'm probably
Right.
because I don't have a lot of time as a truck driver. I get home and I gotta hang out with the wife and do stuff that's priority. But I want to do a contest. I'm probably gonna do your best Joker laugh contest, and then give away some Joker books. That'll probably be in a few months.
Nice.
Cool.
Tomorrow I'm gonna have out by the hopefully before the end of the day my Ra's al Ghul. How do you pronounce Ra's al Ghul? You both sent me a video. Anybody that is in the chat right now, my email is OMEX. If you want to type that, type in my email, OMENX 1881@gmail.com.
OMEX what?
1881@gmail.com. So if anybody else here wants to appear in the how do you pronounce Ra's al Ghul video, if you email me a video and I get it by tomorrow morning, I'll splice you into the video.
Cool. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I just started on the intro. I haven't put the videos together yet. But so that's what I got going on. I got hauls that are sitting on eBay waiting to be released. I mean YouTube. And I probably got 2 short boxes of Golden Age books I haven't even begun to show on my channel yet.
Cool.
I feel like I don't want to do like the regular hauls. I want to do independent books and history. But it's easier to do the haul when you don't have time.
True.
Because you don't have to do hardly any editing. Because I wanted to do a video on Little Lulu does drugs. The drug issue. If no one knows about that, go on my Instagram, check it out. Fascinating how Dell said we don't need the comic code because we're family friendly, but let's have one of our beloved characters roll up her doll's hair and smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everyone. There was a lot of accolades there and a lot of friends in the chat. Thanks for tuning in and checking out my babbling, my nerdity, my geekdom. I have to say, and I'm going to leave this as my last thing that I say. If you know me, Roger knows me. When I buy anything new, it's like I'm just this little 8-year-old kid again. I want to show it. Hey, look what I got. I got it this price. It was a good price. What do you think? And people may think that it's like, oh, he's showing off, but no, I'm just excited.
No, the excitement comes across.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't come across as the other way at all. It comes across in the good way.
Yeah. Excellent.
I don't have a lot of these people on Instagram and will look what I got. Look what I got. I got this. I went to the LCS. See what I got. Right. And it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for making time to come on the show. I know we had to do it on a special night. It made it fun, but I think I'll do a couple of these specials on Saturday nights if Roger's up for it. And I'll make Roger my Saturday night stand-in guest when we do them on Saturdays. If I don't know if you're up for that, Roger.
Sure, most Saturdays, yeah, unless I'm out of town, yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting requests for Negrito, but he's out playing, probably catching lizards right now.
Right.
Thanks, Wolf. Werewolf.
But guys, thank you for joining us. And those of you who are catching this on the rewind, please go check out Nighttiger's YouTube channel. Watch his videos. Enjoy the books he's got. And my co-host links are in the description as well. Go check out Roger. You are going to see some fantastic old books from these guys and just stuff that can't be beat. Things that you've never seen before that you'll see for the first time. and it is going to be just a joy for any of you that are watching. So check out the links, support these two gentlemen. They're awesome people, great individuals, and they know how to collect. And until next time, guys,
Let me say one more
keep it
thing.
casual.